in SEC play. It's LSU and Texas A&M, but only one.
This is a lot of football to be played here in the month of November. But as we say around here, the games in November are the ones you remember. Our first goal is to go win an SEC championship. And that's what we're striving for.
That's why we come to Texas. As a little kid, you live to play in these type of games in this atmosphere.
They're going to be loud, they're going to be rowdy, they're going to be energetic.
It's going to be a dogfight, full-quarter game.
We have to play physical and we have to execute.
Trust in the culture that we've developed.
There's a standard, and that's the way we're playing today, man.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Derek? How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm here. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. We got a big show tonight, huh?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah, a lot.
But before we get there, we got some pretty exciting stuff happening at the beginning.
Yeah. So before we talk about that real quick, I'm going to play our main sponsor for the evening, and then we're going to hop into that and bring on our guest we have on tonight. So give us about a minute.
Good.
Ready to rock.
One of the many things that we offer is a fence repair. And today we're out here in Longview, Texas. We are going to be replacing a rotten 4x4 post. Fence restored from standing tall. You can reach us at 903-619-6343.
All right. Thank you, CBC, for that. All right. So, chat, we have a guest on tonight. He's we've been on this Derek. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Derek. We've been on this recruiting search for these talented high school players, and we've had the opportunity to reach out to Mr. Jackson Bradley. He lives over in Oak Grove, Louisiana, and so we're going to bring him on, and he's going to be our guest tonight. Hey, Mr. Jackson, can you hear us?
What's up, Jackson?
Yep.
How are you, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Good. So, man, hold on. I just gotta throw that, dude. These numbers are insane. I don't even know what to say, dude. Like
video game numbers. That's what we call that.
Like these are beyond video game numbers. I play NCAA and I can't even pull numbers like this. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Man, so you go to Oak Grove as we were talking a little bit before the show. Before we get into the recruitment stuff, have you always been at that school district, or have you bounced around? I mean, just curious.
Oh yeah, always been. We bleed black and gold. Always been in Oak Grove. Small town. Rural roots. So. Goodness. Fail. But yeah, always been here. Like I said,
Awesome.
Bleed black and gold. Always have, probably always will.
Yeah, man. So, as you can see here, you're committed to LA Tech. What outside of the other school, as we were talking, you had another official offer from Louisiana Monroe. What did you take an official visit to both of them, or just LA Tech?
I took just an official to Louisiana Tech, but I took a lot of unofficials to ULM. Kind of cool story about that is so when I was young, I went to UAB on a recruiting trip. Really loved it. They kind of offered, kind of didn't. They didn't know how the coaching staff would be, and then the coach ends up getting fired, and he goes to New Mexico, and then I don't hear from him for a while. And then he ends up getting a job at ULM, which is about an hour away from my hometown. And so, he extends that offer and, so that was a pretty cool experience, but I was already committed to Louisiana Tech. Once he got that job, I got that offer as a freshman from a different staff. So, but,
Did you ever actually consider them? Was it always just LA Tech for you?
But with the other staff, it was, Louisiana Tech all the way. And then, when that coach got the job, I, definitely took a peek. But, LA Tech is the place I want to be. And so.
Was it always going to be a close to home type of school you were going to? Or did you ever entertain, going out?
Oh, yeah. The distance didn't really matter to me. It was, I'm glad I'm somewhat close to home. So, parents can make, most of every game and stuff like that. But, it was never really about the distance. It was just about, like I said earlier, relationships and different things of that nature.
Right. The opportunities, the one, like you said, the ones that wanted you, for you and not for anything else. Yeah.
So how was the recruiting process for you? And the reason I asked that is because it's and this is from the outside looking in. Is it a very stressful, overwhelming thing, or is it kind of you don't let it get that way?
I didn't let it get that way. I really just enjoyed it. It's a true blessing from God and all that, just to be able to get recruited.
Absolutely.
But I didn't let it get that way necessarily too much. When I was younger, I was a bigger recruit, and was able to kind of manage some of that, and especially with them not being able to talk to me as much. And then when I right after probably junior year, kind of got hectic a little bit, but nothing really crazy. I enjoy talking to people, so talking to a coach for 25 minutes wasn't really nothing to me.
Right. So and I don't know if you can really dive too much into this, but so at Tech, did the coaching staff kind of give you the indication that maybe you could see some playing time next year, or anything along that line?
That necessarily hasn't been talked about that much. I have been told that I'll have the opportunity to compete, and that's really all you can ask for. Compete for that spot, and they have some really talented quarterbacks already in that room. And coming in as a freshman, you're behind the 8 ball, but he told me that if I come in, especially right weight and all that different kind of stuff, that I'll have a chance to compete. And that's all I feel like I can ask for.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't want nothing given to you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of recruits that I feel like have it given to them, not because who they are, but just because they are that talented. And I'm not saying you're not talented, but some of them are just so talented they don't even have to work for it coming in. From day one, they're starters. And me personally, I like the people that have to go in there and work, because you can say you did the work to get to that final destination, which I'm assuming for a lot of these college players is the NFL or just, whatever sport you're in. Is that something that you're striving for? Is the NFL a destination for you, or is this just a stop to play ball and to get an education?
For every kid, the dream is the NFL. And, and I would definitely pursue that if that's available at the time. But also, I do know that, football ends one day. And so, getting their degree is very important to me. But if the NFL presents itself, it's definitely, I'll definitely pursue it.
That's awesome, man.
Well, was there? Again, I don't want to get too far sideways with you and get you in trouble. But was there one school that like you grew up wanting to go to? Like this was it. Like if they were to slap an offer down today, I'm there.
I mean, every Louisiana kid is going to say LSU.
That's what I was thinking, but getting recruited by them at all was surreal. Yeah.
But for even Tech though, my dad played there. My first cousin,
I did not know that.
My first cousin played there. Was a captain, and he played there. Kind of in my middle school to ninth grade age range, and so that was being able to go to those games and watch that, and just like I said, take
he from Oak Grove as well.
Yes, he was.
Even your dad?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh wow! So 3 generations. That's pretty cool. Well, 3. I guess. Yeah.
And my uncle, his dad played there. It's just a really, it's a really, family pipeline, I guess you can say.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, but watching him play, and then they were so good. Tech was, about 2, 3, 4 years ago, and so you want to go watch a good football game, you get in a car and drive an hour and a half, and you watch Tech, and then the kind of Tech and LSU. I would definitely say.
Probably your favorite. That's understandable.
What?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Derek. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna. I mean, you look at his stats up here, the passing versus rushing. And this is gonna kind of come off kind of weird, but would you consider yourself more of a passer or more of a runner? In your opinion, I mean, I know your stats favor the passing, but if it was up to you, what would you think of yourself more as?
I really, I feel like I can do it all. But if I had to pick, I definitely pick passing. I enjoy the art of passing. If this guy does this, then we have an answer for that. I enjoy that.
Are these rushing yards? Are they designed runs or are they like scramble yards? I mean, that's a lot of scramble yards if it's scramble yards.
Yeah, most of them are designed.
They design okay.
Yeah,
that's still, I mean, that's awesome.
So you're saying you don't consider yourself a dual threat. You're a passer first for sure.
I'm not the dual threat guy that's going to run the 4-5, 4-4 type. I feel like if it's called for, I can run the football, and I feel like I'm effective at it. But I like to throw the football around and like to come off and make different reads and different things of that nature. But Oak Grove is a hard-nosed place, and so that's kind of the mentality I adapt when I'm running the football is hard-nosed yards and different things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he looks like in the picture in the Oak Grove uniform?
Who does he look like?
You look like Josh Allen, brother. That's what he looks like. I mean, I see the 7, and I think you just said get the hard yards and stuff like that. I just see like a Josh Allen type. And that's a great comparison. I mean, I'm not dig. I think dude's an amazing football player. I really wish I could have seen you play. Like, I think that it would have been awesome to come catch a game or so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, man, to come catch one in Rust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, well, listen, we've told everybody we've had on. Listen, we will not deny any tickets and we can be at the Tiffany Top.
Show up.
We will travel. Okay, I've never been to a college game, and I want to go.
You got to get to a college game.
I've never been. I'm a Longhorn fan, and I've always wanted to go, and I just never have. But I want to go. I've seen every high school level of football from 6-man all the way up. Yeah. It's time to get to a college game. It's time to get to one. So man, if you ever had any extra tickets, man, we'll take them. I don't care if they're
we will travel.
100%.
We're actually talking about going to the Independence Bowl over there when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to see what teams show up, and
we really want to. We can't beat that. It's so close to us. It's like I guess that would be my first college game technically, but we want to go to that. But outside of, I mean, again, man, your stats are beyond video game numbers. Outside of your accomplishments of just football, what's something else you feel like in general in your high school career or just whatever that would be a big accomplishment for you? Obviously, we talked about before the show that you've won 7 total state championships. Am I correct? 8?
6 total.
6 total. 6
Yeah,
total.
four and two.
So, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I can only name one person that I know that's done that. We talked about him before the show.
Yep.
I mean, would you consider that your biggest accomplishment, or is it just playing with that squad, that you talked about? Y'all grew up playing, football, baseball, etc.
Yes. That's, winning the 6 state championships, you can't put a word. It's, like you said earlier, speechless. It's truly a blessing. And, I'm also, another thing that I value a lot is my faith. And, I'm really big in FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
That's awesome.
And, kind of got that, we got up and running in Oak Grove. And, I take a lot of pride in that. And so.
Were you a part of that, getting that up and going? Or was
yes,
it something?
sir.
Awesome, dude.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is, they need more of that in high school sports. And I say that because when you see the things that happen every day on a college football field, it's needed. I think just for the sport, and I think for football players in general to have a go-to when you don't have a go-to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, the dude earlier, my first cousin that played at Tech, his dad, kind of, he was the adult figure that kind of got it started. And then me and my sister, and a few other people in the school, the tight end that I was telling y'all about before the thing, he was, really got that up and started. And it's been a really good thing. The school and the community have really taken well to it, and it's worked out really well so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's impressive, man. I mean, like I said, that I think that's needs to be a lot more. And I know there's probably other schools in the nation that have that, but I think that's huge. And I think they need that in college ball too, because I think that could be a big help for a lot of people. Because a lot of things you hear about in football and all sports is mental health, and having something like that around for people would definitely benefit them. How was that?
Go ahead.
How was that? How was that trip to Tech? Like, did you commit the day you were there, or did you ponder it, or was it like, I'm coming here?
I had been committed for you talking about my official visit?
Yeah, like your official visit. Did you commit there, or did you like think about it for a day, or was you like, no, I'm all in? Was that recruiting visit, the official visit, so good that you were just sold right then?
I had been committed for probably about 6 or 7 months before my official visit.
Oh, wow. So you committed before you even stepped foot on campus.
Well, like I said, it's an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So I had been down to a lot of game day visits.
Mm-hmm.
Been with Coach Cumbie one-on-one. He had came to the school. He had watched me play, different things of that, kind of nature. And so, I had been on campus before on, a lot of unofficials and different things like that. And, I just knew it was a place to be, like I told you earlier, because Coach Cumbie, I can't say enough good things about that man. He's the reason I'm going to Tech. And
is it nerve-wracking to know that there's like college coaches in the stands, like watching you, like they're looking at you as potential recruit for their school? Does that kind of unsettle you a little bit, or like motivate you more for that game? What was your mindset during those kind of times?
Maybe at the beginning of the game, maybe a little bit nervous, warm-ups and different things of that nature. But, I always tell people, I almost kind of black out on the football field. It's kind of
You just zone this tunnel vision.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that because that's not always a great thing, but that's kind of what happens. And crowd noise and different things of that nature. Who's watching? It never really bothered me too much. Maybe freshman me, it bothered a little bit, but never really, just because like I said, I kind of almost blacked out.
Yeah, you're just focused on the game. Nothing else really mattered. Yeah, I completely understand. I got you.
And kind of speaking of that early part, were you in like you said you've been getting recruited since you were younger? When did it? What grade did that actually start in?
So I got my ULM offered me as a freshman.
Wow,
Golly.
So
that's insane.
No, freshman me, I'm jumping on that. Like I'm like, I'm on it. Like,
you know, and
wow.
luckily I had some people around me that had been through it, and I had a great head coach who, you know, kind of was able to walk me through the process, and you know, kind of, you know, like you just said, kind of keep me away from, you know, recency bias and stuff like that. And so, you know, it didn't like, you know, lead me to make, you know, build true relationships with people and, you know, figure out where I want to go to school.
Wow.
can you tell us a little bit about your head coach at Oak Grove? I mean, did he have any kind of input for you as far as, you know, college recruiting wise, and like did him and Coach Cumbie have a relationship that kind of drew Cumbie to you, or how did that kind of tell us about your high school coach?
Well, first and foremost, my high school coach, been there for 11 years, and you know, before this year he'd been to 10 straight semifinals. We lost in the quarterfinals this year, but he'd been to 10 straight semifinals.
10
He,
straight semis.
Wow.
He's won 4 state championships, maybe 5, you know, as a head coach at Oak Grove, and you know, he's very successful. And but one of the, you know, even with all those accolades, one of the best things he does is get kids recruited. And you know, he's made relationships all throughout, and you know, with Tech being so close, I think he reached out to Coach Cumbie. You know, I don't think him and Coach Cumbie necessarily had a relationship before, but they, you know, they kind of gained a relationship through this. And you know, he definitely puts his pitches in on where he thinks the best fit for you is and all of that. But he lets you make that decision off of you, like I said earlier, your relationships with people and different things of that nature. You know, the day I was going to commit to Tech, he said, you know, I've been praying about that for a long time, and was really hoping that would happen. And I think you made the right decision. So,
yeah. Through your high school career, has it always been quarterback for you, or did you play other positions?
Through high school, it's always been quarterback.
Just been quarterback? Yeah, I mean, because I think you could have played anywhere. You can play receiver. I mean, you have the frame to play anywhere.
Is that what you're going to be at Tech? They tell you straight quarterback?
Quarterback. It'll be quarterback.
Okay. So we had a kid on 2 shows ago, and he was a quarterback here, but I think he moved to linebacker. Is that right? I don't remember.
No, he didn't. He didn't move to linebacker. They are recruiting him as an athlete, and they want him to come play linebacker.
Yeah. But I was.
And that was one of my things, you know, going into my recruiting process. I wanted to play quarterback. Like I said, I enjoy the art of the game and the schematics behind it. So that was one of my things. I wanted to play quarterback, and you know, I was blessed to be able to do that.
And this question is probably one that, and it may not have happened to you, but it's the same kid. He had an insane injury hit this year. And have you ever had an injury that was severe to the point to where you didn't know if you were playing again, or was it kind of just minor, like, you know, rolled ankles, you know, stuff like that?
You know, never anything, you know, to the nature of, you know, if I ever thought I was going to play again, you know, fracture an ankle in basketball, but that's the worst I've had, and you know, thank God for that.
Yeah, because you know what I really liked about him too was that he his school kept his commitment to him. They didn't change it because he got hurt. I mean, he's still hurt to this day. He got hurt in week 3 of this year. Of his skin, and he's still hurt. You know, he's even going to play basketball and baseball at his school even after the injury into his senior year. So I thought that was really cool. And I wanted to ask you, had you had to go through any adversity like that through high school? Because that's a big thing. I mean, a lot of schools now, I feel like, you know, they'll you get hurt, they may pull it, you know.
No.
So I was just curious if you'd ever been through anything that just in football. I mean, you said you had a fractured ankle, but football wise, if anything pondered you from playing, or was it really nothing serious?
No, you know, one of my you know, I guess biggest brags of myself is that I never missed a snap of a football game. You know, I started as a freshman and never missed a snap of a football game unless my helmet came off.
Wow.
And that's, you know, that's all God. You know, that's not me being big tough
right.
guy. That's just God being, keeping me safe out there.
Yeah, that's a lot of football. That's a
It is.
lot of
It
football.
is.
Not just high school, but I mean, I'm talking about like, just the playoffs and the championships. Like that's a lot of football.
It is.
Did and I know you said you play basketball and baseball. I think you said baseball would be one you thought you were pretty good at. Did you have any offers on that side of the field, or was it just strictly football?
It was mostly strictly football. I never, put myself out there for baseball.
Okay.
But it was mostly strictly football. I don't know. I don't know if I would be good enough to play baseball anywhere.
I mean, y'all have won like 12 state championships, so you're good enough to play for sure. Well, yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I mean, we like I said, we've been having. I don't know what me and Darren. We were just on this like. We had a kid on that played college football at Middle Tennessee. This is where it started, and he should have been drafted, but he tore his ACL. So he's last time we spoke from, we were going to he's going to work for the Cardinals, work out for the Cardinals. And so that's what started this. And then me and Derek were like, let's not even get that far. Let's start with the high school kids. And we were talking about getting JUCOs and Division III, and like
this is blown up. I mean,
our first 3 recruits are all D1 recruits. I mean, it's been massive. So we do want to thank you for coming on and taking time out of your evening to be with us, because this is something we're really getting into, and
it's something that I really enjoy about this is now when I turn on the TV, I'm going to be looking for a La Tech game, or I'm going to be looking for a Texas State game, or I'm going to be because you might be out there, you know what I mean? And so now I can follow somebody kind of from the start of their college career and just watch them grow and watch them, and we tell them, everybody that we've talked to so far, man, we would love for you to come back on, say after your first season there, and be like, hey, this is what's the difference between the college and high school. This is, kind of what was different and what I liked and didn't like, stuff like that.
Yeah, we would definitely love for you to come back on sometime. Obviously, we know when the season starts, which I guess would be March, spring, and all that starts for y'all. Are you going to be going there? I know you talked about finishing high school, but are you going to go there for any of that, or are you kind of just going to stick it out and then start in the fall?
I may go. Like I said, it's close, so may go work out. Once or twice a week there. But
yeah, for sure.
Nothing. I won't be there. Until the summer. Anything.
Or summertime, yeah, like summer workout and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, it's so nice to be that close to the college, and be able to drive back and forth, and your family and stuff, and especially with the history of your family being there, because you'll need a little guidance. It ain't going to be all a cakewalk. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine going to a university and just getting around. I barely could get around in my small high school sometimes. Going to a college or university that big is just sounds like it's an overwhelming thing. But yeah, man, that's awesome, man. Derek, did you have anything else you wanted to ask him?
No, I mean, I like I said, we appreciate you coming on. We really hope we can continue this relationship into the future, and like I said, kind of keep touch base with you, and keep up with you as you go, and come down and check you out in Ruston, and have you back on, in 3 years when you're up for the Heisman. We'll do a Jackson Bradley Heisman ceremony live if you want, or you can invite us to New York with you. It's up to you, man. We're not going to push the issue. We're here for you. We're here for you, brother.
Yeah, but first we got to get him to a college football game. That's got to be the
that's
first.
it. We got to get him to a college football game. I will say, so when my dad used to live in San Antonio, and one of my Christmas presents every year was we went to the Alamo Bowl, and so I've been to probably 6 or 7 college football games, seen some awesome ones, and I enjoy it. And like I said, it's not home games for anybody. So I would love to come to a game. Well, it's a home game for somebody, and just see the home crowd, and
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be something we have to take him up on, Dustin. We might have to make a trip
Yeah,
to
man.
Ruston
Listen, I'm
and
telling you,
check it out.
I'll travel. I drive every day for a living, so I'm up for traveling, and I would love to come watch a game, man. And if we ever have the opportunity, we'll come.
Yeah,
And
100%. Gotta make that happen. Gotta make
hey,
that
man,
happen.
that would be awesome, man. We would really appreciate that. Do you have anything for us? Like, is there anything else you want to talk about that we missed?
I think we hit it all.
I like it, man. So
I mean, dude, I'm sitting here looking. You have over 2,100 offensive yards. I'm not going to say. I mean, your Jackson's yards. I'm going to call it that. And you have 1,000 touched. I don't even know, dude. I keep staring.
I do have one more question before we let him go. It's about the yardage.
Okay.
Is y'all's offensive scheme a passing scheme or a running scheme?
So funny you ask, because in my 4 years I had 3 different offensive coordinators.
Wow.
Wow. And so
and you did that with 3 different dude. That's you're just gifted, man. I don't care what nobody
yeah,
says.
I mean,
because 3 different offensive coordinators, that's insane. Them numbers, I don't even know what to say, dude. Those numbers with 3 different offensive coordinators.
What was your best year? Let me ask you that. I see just curious, statistical wise, what would you say your best year was?
I don't know if I haven't looked at my final stats from this year, but if I had to bet, maybe this year, either this year or junior year.
This year, or junior year?
I thought I probably threw for more yards, and I definitely scored more touchdowns this year. But I don't know that for a fact. But freshman year, offensive coordinator was the head coach, and we ran, Ivir, very run heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And then sophomore year, we brought in a coordinator, and it was him for sophomore and junior. And then after the first game of my of the senior year, some stuff happened with him, and then my dad took over as the offensive coordinator, and so.
Is he a coach? Is he a coach at the school?
Yeah. Oh, yes. He coaches basketball, and then this year he was the offensive coordinator, receivers coach.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's neat in itself, man. So that leads to another question. How is it playing for your dad?
There's definitely some ups and downs. People can say all they want that they leave it at the field and all that, but you don't. It carries over, and it definitely does. But
yeah, it does. Yeah. It doesn't ever get left. So I coached my little girl in basketball when she was coming up, and there's been many of car rides home where we don't talk, and you try to leave it there, but it just doesn't work that way.
And I played for Dad all throughout. Ever since I was 5 years old, he was my coach. And this year it was his first time ever calling plays. And, it wasn't my first time ever playing quarterback. So I had, some stuff, that I could, help him with, and, stuff that he could help me with. He's a great offensive mind.
The student became the teacher, huh? The student became the teacher.
A little bit. He's very, like I said, very gifted offensive mind. But he, sometimes he struggles getting it on a piece of paper. With like verbiage and lingo and stuff. And that was
now. Will he stay on as the offensive coordinator, or will he just go back to basketball?
I don't know. That would, I don't.
Yeah,
know
I just didn't know if that was just kind of something that he was kind of asked to do for the year while they were looking for somebody, or if it was like a permanent type thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it would do. I know he loved it, and he'd love to do it again. But I don't know. I don't know if with me going to Tech, I don't know how that'll all work and different stuff like that. Because my sister's also, and I can get her on. She's a 5-star basketball player.
Oh, dude, please do. Oh my
god,
we love basketball. Please do.
Yeah,
oh my god,
that's my favorite. That was wild. Is she going somewhere? What grade is she in?
She's a sophomore.
She's a sophomore. She's a 5.
Yep.
No,
she's 6'6".
Huh?
6'6"?
Yeah.
She's taller than you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude,
6'5", 6'6". I don't know.
So who has the height in your family? Is your mom and dad both tall, or is there just your dad, or?
Dad's 6'7" and mom's about 6 foot.
I did not see that coming, man. That's
No.
nuts.
When you said 5-star, I thought it was like maybe a point guard, or you're talking about she's a
That's
center,
what I was
man.
thinking. Yeah.
Oh my God, she's NBA 6'6" center. That ain't no like college center. That's a WNBA center. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's a
I'm
real deal,
assuming
too.
I'm assuming she's a sophomore. Does she have quite a few offers? Not trying to get on that, but I'm just curious. She's a 5-star. She's got to have some offers out there.
I think she has 30 something, maybe 31.
Yeah. We want her on. No
Yeah,
doubt.
but once she gets 32, you gotta have 32 offers. To get on the podcast. You can't 31. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did just get some breaking news. We were talking about coming to your games and stuff. My wife informed me that y'all play Southern Miss at home the day of my birthday. So we might be coming to a September 25th game at La Tech.
Okay, we may have to. Yeah, we may have to get that done.
Hey, let's get it done. I'm down.
That's my birthday weekend, and so
I kind of pulled up your stats here. I mean, again, I it doesn't have your entire. I'm not sure what's missing here. The total like passing yard and stuff's not on, but based off of this, man, I mean, every year you were phenomenal. I mean, this year total, again, I don't know if this is updated. You had 33 touchdowns passing. I don't think that's completed because the yards isn't completed, but I mean, you had a QBR of 128 this year. That's insane. I mean,
that's nuts.
I mean, and you're averaging 174 game yards. I mean, you only had 6 picks. I mean, that's insane, man. I mean, it doesn't have your freshman stats on here. I'm not sure if that's what's missing. It just has sophomore through senior. So I'm assuming your freshman's missing. But yeah, man, I mean, these are just insane numbers, man. I mean, you're super talented. I'm excited. I hope you get to see some time because I want to watch you play, hopefully in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Again, we appreciate you coming on big time, man. This is huge for us, and we want to get all y'all out there to. Somebody don't have like me, don't have a clue where Oak Grove is. Well, they're going to know now because there's a phenom coming out of Oak Grove. They don't even know it's coming yet, but it's coming. And with a sister too.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously she's a sophomore, but if she would ever be interested in coming on, then time, we'd love to have her on. Sophomore, she has a couple years left to go, but I just don't even know what to say. Like I grew up I thought my family was tall. No.
We've been blessed.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. Did your mom play sports in college, or was it just your dad?
She played college basketball at Louisiana Christian. It's a NAI, I think D3 or
Mm-hmm. So, there's just ties all in the family, is what it sounds like. That's awesome, man. It's awesome to be blessed to continue that kind of family. You could call it a tradition of continuing to play sports because there's a lot of people that don't do that. It's just not for them. And for you and your sister to continue that on, and hopefully y'all's kids and so forth, man. That would be awesome, man. But yeah, man. If Derek doesn't have anything else, man, we appreciate you coming on, and we're going to keep up with you, and I'll be looking for those tickets next year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Got to come watch you play, man.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, man. Well, we appreciate you very much, man. Get you some sleep, and good luck in the basketball season. Keep us posted.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
Have a good one, man. Appreciate you coming on again.
Yep.
What a kid, dude. What a kid.
Wow. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm
awesome.
Speechless because of the family.
Yeah.
It's a family thing.
I did not expect that. I will say that. I did not expect him to say a 6'6" sister, a 6'7" dad. That blew me right there.
Yeah, man. That's an awesome kid, man. I mean,
every kid we've had on here has been well spoken, very polite, but very well mannered. I mean, props to the parents. I mean,
the parents are, man, listen, the parents are huge in this, man. And it's not just the ties they have to the sports themselves, but it's just how they raise their kids. These are the kids you don't hear about a lot because they're so young and upcoming. You hear about the stars and every Saturday, and you don't hear about the kids that put in the work. And I'm not saying all kids don't put in the work, but this kid,
he'll play because of his work ethic.
his work ethic is crazy. And I think I expect to see number 7 on the field at some point in his collegiate career. And I'm excited for him because we will get to say, hey, we know that kid. We had him
We
on
know
our
that
show.
guy. Yeah.
And
for sure.
Same with Seth. Same with Colt. I mean, all of them, man. It's just excited to know we have these kids on our show to come in here and talk about their experiences and did they have to go anything and Jackson was blessed to not have to go through super adversity or anything, kind of like Colt did, and being able to continue playing the game that they love to play. Yeah, man, awesome, man. We appreciate him and coming on and talking about all that. And so with that being said, we'll run another ad, and then we're going to get into our upset picks from Mr. Jim for this weekend.
Yep, let's get it.
Which I have not seen that yet, so I'm excited.
Oh, you have not?
I just plugged it. I did not watch it.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
All right, Mr. Jim Russ, are you here still? I know you were feeling under the weather, but if you're here, please comment in the comment section. I always want you to see this, man. You don't know how much we appreciate you doing this. You do it every week. You're still doing it. You did it today, and you said you weren't feeling the best. So, we appreciate you taking your time to do this. And with that being said, we're going to hop into Jim's upsets of this conference championship weekend.
He's here.
Awesome. Glad you're here, Jim.
Tired Sports, what's going on, baby? Here I am. Bulldog beatdowns. Well, I don't know if they're beatdowns, but this is who I'm picking to win. Seeing we getting into the championship games and bowl games and such. This week, this Saturday, I got Army 30, Tulane 28, and my next one, I got SMU 21, Clemson 17. And there you go. Let's get it.
I like it. SMU, Clemson. He got Army.
Hey, hold on, Jim. Hold on now. Hold on, Mr. Jim. No Georgia game this weekend?
That's not an upset. Georgia over Texas isn't an upset.
Hey, it could be. In Jim's eyes, it could be. No, Jim, those are great games, man. I mean, there's 6 phenomenal games this weekend from Friday till Saturday, man. And
Jim, Georgia by 50. I'm with you, Jim.
Don't do that to him.
I'm Team Jim this week.
Don't do that to him. Hey, Derek, don't be salty because of last weekend. Don't do that.
I seen something perfect to describe last week's game.
Okay.
Texas is a bad football team. They didn't beat us. Our play calling beat us. So that's where we're going to stick.
That did beat y'all. I'm not denying that.
The play calling killed us. But we're not going to go back. We're not going to live in the past. Moving forward, we had a great signing day today. I'm looking forward to it. We're getting our healthy people back next year. It's going to be great.
Hey, y'all gonna have a good bowl game. You can't.
Oh yeah, we'll have a bowl game, but it's not.
I'm assuming you saw that your quarterback entered the transfer portal. I'm assuming you saw that. How do you feel about that?
Do what?
Wegman, he's gone.
Oh, I love it. He was gone after week 1 in my book.
Well, we've been talking about how Reed was going to take over, but I'm saying, have you? Before we hop into these games, have you been seeing just over the last couple of days all the people entering the transfer? I'm assuming you've seen it. It's an insane amount, dude. I don't know if this is the NIL stuff or what, but the amount of kids that are in the transfer portal that haven't even signed to a team now, and then all these new recruits are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you remember, Cal, Colt's dad, sent us that YouTube or that TikTok. And what they're taking these rosters down to next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
A 45-man cut. They've got to put some limitation on this transfer portal stuff.
Yeah, what's going to end up happening is I seen a thing today about it. It was last year, but I seen the thing of it today. It was a kid who entered the transfer portal. He was at, I think it was LSU. I think it's where it was, and he was like 6th on the depth chart at receiver. So he entered the transfer portal, ended up going to a Division III, and was 2nd string at Division III. So he was 6th on the depth chart at a Division I. Division III, he was 2nd. He re-entered the transfer. Oh, I'm sorry. He went to Division II. Re-entered the transfer portal after that year, and now he's saying he has no D1 offers. So he's either going to have to go D2 again or drop to D3. So you went D1 because you didn't like the competition, to now you're D2, D3 at best.
They've got to get a handle on that.
Yeah.
Because like I saw, Miller Moss from USC entered, a couple other quarterbacks. I can't remember who they were off the top of my head. Some the Oklahoma quarterback is entered the transfer portal.
Oklahoma quarterback. Yep.
So Oklahoma, not that he was playing. They were kind of back and forth with theirs too, kind of like not as much as
they got
A&M
a freshman that's going to take the reins for them though. So
yeah, so I mean, the portal's kind of gotten out of hand, and it's going to be interesting.
You're talking about Miller Moss and Wegman. I talked to Brad and Brandon over at the Hawkaholics, and both of them are going to Iowa to visit Moss and Wegman. And they were asking me about Wegman. I was like, oh, he's great, man. He's going to lead y'all to the Natty. Man, he's awesome.
You know what, though? The only thing good about the transfer portal, and this is why I think they have to have the limitation part, but the good thing about it is, all they're high school kids at the time, right? Sometimes they don't make the best decisions for themselves. And that has nothing to do with nobody. It's just like a decision they make, and maybe they get there and it just doesn't work out for them. I think the portal is nice for people like that. Let's say Wegman goes to, I don't know, hypothetically, let's say he wants to go to Oklahoma. I'm just throwing a name out there. And he revamps his career. So I'm saying, like, that's the good part about it. But when you're switching every year, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you may have messed up your first decision in your eye, like, hey, maybe this isn't the right fit. The second, you should have, I think there should be no more than 2 transfer portals per athlete. Switching.
I think it's 1. I think you have to narrow, because if not, you're going, now you're taking scholarships twice away from high school kids that have worked and earned that, and now you're saying, oh well, we don't want that freshman to come in. We'd rather have this senior who's a little more seasoned, who's a little more ready to kind of play now versus a freshman. And now the freshman has to go to the D2 or to a D1 that he really didn't want to go to begin with.
Well, that's kind of like Seth, the whole Houston thing.
Yes, 100%. And that was a defensive coordinator change, though. I mean, that was They should have honored it, but I don't know.
Yeah, they should have honored that. The kid worked his butt off to get there. Not that he won't succeed wherever he goes next, but man, not to continue to get off talking, man. Let's hop into these games, man. We got 6 games to cover, and let's just talk about this first game here, man. I mean, it's UNLV versus Boise.
So I had a thought about this game. I'm going to run this by you.
Okay.
So UNLV was undefeated at one point this year, if you remember.
Yeah, they were.
The quarterback and the running back kind of lost their mind a little bit. On NIL stuff. The whole different. You got the portal and you got the NIL stuff. I think this is going to be a close game.
I do too.
I would not be surprised if this isn't like a 31-30, 31-28 type of game. I still think Genty is going to get his stuff. I think they can put 15 in the box, and I'm not sure they can stop Genty. Because like we've talked about, that's an SEC line blocking for an NFL running back. I mean, that's where we're at with this Boise State team. But I think UNLV is going to put up the points, and because of like we talked about last week, the defense for Boise State is suspect. They're hit and miss. You don't really know what you're going to get for them. I think they rely. Yeah, I think the defense even relies so much on Genty.
Oh yeah, they do.
To score, to get his points, to kind of eat that clock up because it gives them time to get those breaks and to kind of rest. But that's just kind of what I think. 3.5 is perfect because I think this is going to be a great game. It's a Friday night game. So it's going to be kind of kicking off right before we do Friday night, which we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's a perfect plug for kind of what we're going to talk about Friday night.
It is. It is perfect.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I mean, there's no, but yeah, that's kind of where I see this game headed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this quarterback for UNLV. He had to step in, right?
Yeah.
He's had a decent season for having to take over the reins after what happened. He has a little bit over 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, only 4 picks, man. But I've been saying this for a while now. This quarterback for Boise is not a scrub.
No,
he's actually really good.
Yeah,
he has almost 2,600 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 3 picks. So yes, Genty is the guy there, but when they have to pass, they can pass, and they trust him. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Again, their only loss this year was to Oregon, and actually, so did you know that UNLV and Boise already played this year?
No, I did not.
They did. They played on October 25th, and Boise won by 5, 29-24.
There you go.
So, and that was their only loss.
Now, I will say this. I was thinking about this today.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. They lost to Syracuse. Oh, listen to this. They lost to Syracuse 44-41 in overtime. Those are their 2 losses. This UNLV team is not a bad team.
No.
They beat Kansas. They beat Houston.
And Kansas is a good team now.
We saw that. They played one ranked team. I'm going to throw something at you. They played one ranked team in Boise State. They're about to play them again. Now they're ranked now. They were. I think UNLV was ranked in the early of the season.
They were ranked early.
And then I think that loss to Syracuse bumped them out completely. Then they got back in. And the reason I bring that up, and this has been a big talk a lot today because of what happened with the playoff seeding stuff yesterday, is Miami's not in, right? Miami cannot make the playoffs. They're out. They can't make it.
I have a different thought on that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but the reason I bring it up is because Miami had never played a ranked team this year. This UNLV team has, and they're about to play them again. And this UNLV team is really good. If Boise comes out flat, like they have a few times this year, like the one team they played, they went down 14-0 in the beginning. If they come out against a team like this, they might be in trouble because they may not be able to run the ball like they want. So if Boise has got to come out strong, they've got to score. They got to have the time. They have to do what they've been doing, just not coming out slow because this game could turn sideways for them if they let it get away because this team is not a scrub team. But I would pick Boise to win this game in a very, very close game by 3 or 4 points. Nothing, it's going to be the spread here is about right. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that game.
I'm not 100% positive. I'd have to do a little more checking on it. But this is also a playoff game because I believe if UNLV beats Boise,
they don't get in.
They take a conference champion, a group of 5. The highest rated group of 5 gets in.
Well, they would get in. They just wouldn't get the bye.
They wouldn't get the bye.
Yeah.
But it would also depend on the Tulane Army game because I'm not sure if Tulane's ranked higher than UNLV. But beating a number 10 ranked team would definitely jump them, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I think UNLV gets in. Could you imagine UNLV making the playoffs and the quarterback quit on them? Dude, I would have like some shirts made or something to like rub it in that quarterback. I mean, just
Oh.
truthfully, I would.
And that's actually the next game we have on the bracket. Tulane is not ranked, by the way.
Oh,
Army's
they're not.
ranked.
So yeah, the winner of that game gets in the playoffs. Boise wins, they get a bye. UNLV wins, they get in probably the 12th seed.
Wow.
The Big 10 champ the Big 12 champ will take the bye,
Right.
and UNLV will get in.
And this is a good game here too. Tulane is good.
And that would knock Bama out.
Man, they're doing everything they can to keep Bama in. Have you? I'm assuming you figured that out by now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I don't know, man. I just don't think you can ever count Bama out. But
no. I don't think that the team can't win it, but this is how I'm looking at it. I have 3 teams that could make it I have 2 teams outside Alabama I think should make it. I do think Miami should make it.
I 100% agree.
I think South Carolina in some way should make it over Alabama because of what they've done.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. I understand they lost to LSU by a few points, Bama by a few points. I get that, but they were competitive in that game.
And Kentucky.
They weren't even hot then. And they did lose to Kentucky. That's a bad loss, right? But here's the thing. Ole Miss isn't in, right? Ole Miss they're number 13, so they're outside looking in. They beat Georgia, so why don't they deserve to be in?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so like I get what they're doing, but you've got to look at the losses. Like Kentucky's loss is bad. The Oklahoma loss to me is worse. Oklahoma's
but where it gets fishy is this is just me. The Michigan loss is horrible for Ohio State. The Northern Illinois loss,
that's a bad.
Even though it's a one-loss team in Notre Dame, that's a horrible loss. What's up, Jet?
It is.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Jet? That's my nephew. What's up, Jet? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a bad loss, man. I don't know, man. I guess I know we've been talking about this. I just want to see South Carolina in to see if they continue this Cinderella story they've been on in the SEC.
I would rather
schedule.
see Cam Ward in than South Carolina.
I mean, yeah, I wish they both could make it.
Because
you know what I mean?
You know, we talk about that Syracuse game. I know this is not. We're getting off topic here, but
no, I love it though.
The Cam Ward played another Heisman performance in a loss.
He did.
You know what I mean? Like it ain't like he's going out there and throwing up ducks and 5 turnovers. He's playing great caliber football, and now we're not.
Yeah,
we're not going to get to see him again.
Right.
Well, in the playoffs, we'll see him in a bowl game, but not a big bowl.
Yeah, right. And like obviously he has carried that team on his back all year, the entire team, including the defense. Like the defense is atrocious. Yeah. Like I wish South Carolina and Miami could find a way to get in because I think those 2 teams are deserving. I'm not saying Alabama isn't deserving, but I really feel like that Oklahoma loss was bad. And it was bad because of how they got beat. They didn't even score a touchdown against an Oklahoma team that's been terrible all year.
As much as you, not you, but I mean, as much as people in general want to look at the Oklahoma and say, oh, man, they're just trying to keep Oklahoma in. Oklahoma bias. I mean, Alabama in. Alabama bias. Alabama this. To me, it's more SEC than it is Alabama. I mean,
yes.
If you give me a list of teams and say, pick the 12 best, I can promise you 80% of my list is going to come from the SEC just because they all beat each other. Every single one of them beat each other at some point. You know what I mean? And Georgia beats Texas. Bama beats Georgia. Texas beats Vandy. Vandy beats Bama. I mean, so to me, that is the best conference because so why should we punish that conference for I think a 8-4 Texas A&M should be in the playoff.
Right.
I mean truthfully, I think they're a good team. They everybody they've lost to, well, except for Auburn, is in the playoffs.
And South Carolina. Besides those 2.
Well, I mean, South Carolina could still make it. If South Carolina makes it, everybody A&M lost to is in the playoffs except for Auburn. So that one bad loss would equal Notre Dame's one bad loss.
Right. And I do want to talk about something. Well, let's get through these games and we'll talk about it because
Yeah.
I saw something today that I thought was really interesting about this whole college bracket situation, and it's about how it should have been from the jump, not how it is now. We'll talk about that in a minute, but
I got Tulane by 17. Army's a bad football team. We thought they were good.
They're-
Daly is still a good quarterback, but they're not a good team.
UTSA almost beat them last weekend.
Yeah.
And
They're
I'm
not a
not
good
saying anything
team.
bad about UTSA because McCowan's played great for them. Now UTSA has had a down year, but like McCowan has been playing great for them. I think Tulane wins this as well because I do not think the Army team is what it was as we thought they were because
Yeah, when they got
caught-
roughed up by Notre Dame, I think they took a big ego hit. And that's hard
well,
to say
same thing for Navy. Exact same thing happened in Navy.
Navy fell off horribly.
Yeah, they fell off bad. So yeah, I have Tulane in this game by 4. I mean, I think they will win. I think it will be close. I'm not going to just say they clobber them. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit more. I think they'll win by 10 or so.
Yeah, that's about where I'm
four's-
at. 10-14. I
Yeah,
think it's a good
because
score game.
unless the only way that Army wins this is if Daly just has an insane game and their defense plays great. That's about the only way. Other than that, Tulane's going to, beat them.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next game. Big game.
Huge.
Big game.
I mean, we talked about it last week. This is probably one of the games. I told my wife today. I said, "Let me tell you what we're going to do Saturday. Me and Dustin are going to get up and do our stream Saturday morning." I said, "I'm going to cook something in the crock pot, and we're going to sit on the freaking couch, and we're not getting off of it all day. All day, we're not getting off of the couch because on ABC there's 3 straight games, and on that 4th game, we're going to go over to CBS and watch it, and we're not getting off the couch."
There's two games at 7. You're going to have to flip back and forth.
That's okay. I got the brand new batteries. I'm ready to go. I will tell you what I do not like about this game. I do not like the -2.5. I know they got to do it for betting reasons and all that kind of crap. I think this is probably one of the more dead even games that we're going to see. I think it's going to be a great game. I don't think Iowa State can stop Scatterboo.
Yeah, good luck stopping him.
The only thing that's going to hurt Arizona State is they lost their leading receiver last week, broken collarbone. But I love Arizona. That freshman quarterback for Arizona State. Did you know that? Did you know he was a freshman?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I did not know he was a freshman.
He has 3,000 passing yards, 20 tutties, and 18 interceptions.
Yeah. So the interceptions are there, but if you watched 2 weeks ago, I think he maybe 2 interceptions. Whatever game he threw, I think 3 interceptions in. 2 of them hit the receiver and then went to the defender. I mean, they weren't hit, and I hate that those count against him because those aren't on him. You know, it hit. I love Arizona State in this game. I love Arizona State to win the first round of their playoff game.
If you remember our brackets, I have them playing Georgia, and I said that they would upset them. And I'm sticking to it. Like this Arizona State team they've been good all year, but they got really good at the right moment.
Yeah, they kind of peaked.
Scatterboo has 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. He is a stud. He will carry them to a victory in this game.
We talked about lining up and running the football. And I told you they had a play where he was in the gun. He had a blocker to his left, a blocker to his right, and they ran a freaking counter. They pulled the guard and ran a counter, and it was on like a 2-yard line.
Yeah.
He could have scored if it was on the 2 from their end of the field because with that hole opened up, dude, that one lead, the fullback on his left, he went through the hole. There wasn't even nobody to hit. The closest person to him was the corner out there getting blocked by the receiver. I mean, it was unreal. I have this game. I have it low scoring. I have it 24-17. I have a low scoring game because I think Iowa State's a good football team, and I think they can match up with them. But I just don't think in the end they have an answer for Scatterboo.
I have a low scoring game, but I have it a little bit bigger. I think it will be close, but I think Arizona State will just in the end wear them out. I have it 24-14, 10-point victory. Yeah, I just do not that offense for Arizona State is so good, dude. They're really good, and I like Iowa State, but they have fallen. The only reason I think they're in is because of some losses. They did beat Kansas State, but Kansas
Yeah.
State fell off too, and that
Yeah.
was a close game. But if we're looking at the hot team, Arizona State is hot right now. This is a team that if I have to play in the first round, that I would be a little nervous about. It doesn't matter who's playing them. It doesn't matter who, because of the running game. Their quarterback's pretty good. That defense at times can be suspect, but overall, they're not a bad defense. Their front seven's pretty good. I think where they struggle at is in the secondary. But a lot of teams do. A lot of teams have their front seven is so good, and it's just the secondaries tend to struggle because the quarterback can play. But the good thing about this team is they're a run first team, so that's where the game could get interesting. But the only way Arizona could win, or not Arizona, Iowa State, is if they stop or slow down Scatterboot. The only way.
And how do you slow down a high-powered offense?
You got to stack the box.
Run the ball. Keep them off the field.
Well, we got to, you have to run the ball and you keep them off the field.
You have to run the ball. You have to keep them off the field.
Right. So I have Arizona State in this game, and I'm curious to see where they fall because depending on the Boise game, they could get the bye.
Hey, I will tell you something that I looked at today. Me and my boss looked at this, and I didn't even put it together. So if you get a bye in the playoffs, you're getting a huge break.
Oh, it's massive.
It's massive. Dude, that's a lot of time to be off.
Yeah. The only thing it does for you is it gives you time to rest and heal up. That's about it. But other than that, you get real cold and you can come out real sluggish.
You can come out flat, especially for a team that, I mean, you have to be peaking after you win your first playoff game. I mean, you got to, you're rolling at that point.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
Yeah,
it's like
this is at Texas Stadium, so I do like that. Finally, there'll be somebody's getting a win at Cowboy Stadium, which doesn't happen very often.
God, hold on. You're telling me that Jerry Jones has an opportunity to make more money outside of Sundays? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Why? I mean, why? But what's going to be weird for him is they'll actually be touchdowns scored. And so they might not know how to react to that. It might be why he's doing it, so he can see stuff like that. We're not on the Cowboys. We're on the college football stuff, man. Let's go. College football.
Hey, listen, I do want to throw something else out there that when we were at the game last Friday, me and my brother-in-law were talking, and we got tied up with the Jerry Jones talk. I'm not sure why. And I think it was an experience at a game. Somebody told them that he knows, went to, I think it was a state game, because he's from Longview, so, they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to get it. They were buying something at the concession stand, and they asked for a tip. And you know what that cashier person said to them? I'm not kidding you. He said, this is a true story. They asked for a tip, and then they asked him, that person that was buying said, hey, does this tip go to you? She says, no, it goes to Jerry Jones. She said that person didn't tip.
Well, somebody must have tipped because Dak got $60 million. So.
Oh no, somebody was tipping. That's a bunch of the Dallas drunk Cowboy fans that tipped him more than he needs. Not that he wasn't getting nothing off the purchase anyways, but besides the fact, we're not on the Cowboys, we're on college football.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the game, man. This is
second game I'm looking forward to.
And I hate there's 2 7:00 games because this is one I want to watch.
Yeah. I'll let you tackle this one first.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Just a simple question. If SMU loses, are they in?
If SMU loses,
are they in the playoffs?
Chaos will ensue.
Okay, I agree.
And there will be 3 ACC teams that make it.
That has to be Miami and Clemson.
Miami,
and
Clemson would be the winner, and SMU. I think SMU would fall to 10. Clemson would get the bye as the ACC champion.
The 3rd seed or something like that.
And Miami would get in as a 12th seed. Bama would be knocked out. That's the only logical way to do that.
So I'm assuming Miami is rooting for Clemson this weekend.
I would assume Miami is rooting for Clemson. I don't think you can go from 8 to falling completely out. Because
not in a championship game either.
Because if that's the case, the Texas or Georgia, they lose, they're out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think at this point, anybody playing for a conference title is in, barring the Big 12. But I don't think they.
Jet, you don't think if SMU loses, there's no way for Miami to slip in with them? That what you're saying?
Because I mean, as of right now, you only have one ACC team, and that's SMU. But I don't see them knocking SMU out.
Oh wow! You don't think they get in?
So it might be a one where, as of right now, Clemson's not in. So if Clemson wins, they get the bye, and SMU goes to 12, and Bama gets knocked out. Maybe they don't put 3 in, but I think SMU's in. Win or lose.
What about this? If SMU, let's say this game goes, Clemson wins. What if they were to, just throwing this out there, this would be crazy, but I could see it happening because it's been crazy. Clemson makes it, they get the bye. If they were to kick SMU out, does
South Carolina gets in because they beat Clemson? They
listen,
everybody.
No, you got to think about it. Does Ole Miss get in? Because they're right there at 13 right now. That's what I'm saying. Who gets in?
See, this is where
it gets complicated.
Well, this is where I talked about. If you've got however many conferences there are in Division I, you either take conference champions, regardless of record, or you take whoever plays in the conference championship and put them in the playoff. Because if not, you have this scenario. Do you let Ole Miss get in over South Carolina? You've got the ACC champ who South Carolina beat last weekend. So you're not going to put a team that just beat a conference champ. I mean,
I see what you're saying, though. I mean, like, so if
like,
I'm so ready for next Tuesday to see the final rankings.
Let me see this. Hang on a second.
What I want to do on Sunday is I want us to pick just 12 teams, a list of teams who's going to make it. Just a list, not a bracket, but a list. We've already done a bracket. After these games, we're going to pick a 1 through 12, and we're going to say who makes it. Or wait, actually, I think they're doing the selection Sunday.
I think it's Sunday.
Never mind. We're not going to be able to do that because it's going to come out before we do that. But
so South Carolina's not making it.
There's no way.
There's no way, and I'm going to tell you why. Ole Miss owns the head-to-head over South Carolina, 27-3. Ole Miss beat them in South Carolina.
So if this game was to go sideways, SMU is out for some reason. If it would be Ole Miss hopping in,
either Ole Miss or
Bama.
I personally, I think SMU still makes it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think so too, but
maybe it slides Bama out. I think Bama is rooting for SMU.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, who wins this game, Derek?
Well, the chaos in me wants to say Clemson because I think that would shake all kinds of crap up because we don't know. I don't even think the committee knows. I think the committee is praying for SMU because if SMU doesn't win, they have no idea what to do.
Well, they don't know what to do on a weekly basis, but
they don't know what to do anyway. But I mean, this would be complete chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But the football person in me loves seeing SMU relevant in football again. I think SMU wins this game, and I think they win it in a shootout.
Yeah, definitely a shootout.
Shootout. I'm talking 45-43.
That is a shootout. Yeah, love this. I love this SMU team. I love Jennings. I think he's a great freshman quarterback. Local.
Yeah, but I would love for Cade to win too, just so I can tag Jacob and be like, "Hey,
Jacob,
look at this, Cade Kubnick right here. Look at here." But I do think SMU wins in a shootout. I think it's points after points after points.
Yeah, I think this is a shootout as well. We're really going to see what SMU is about because this will be their best competition all year, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think they lost to BYU.
They did. They lost to BYU.
Was their only loss.
That was their only loss. They lost to BYU. Hold on. I was pulling this up. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so they lost to BYU 18-15. Now, here's the thing, is they have played 2 ranked teams. They beat a Louisville team that was 22 at the time, and they beat a Pittsburgh team, which we know wasn't great at the end of the year.
They didn't end up being very good, yeah.
But they beat them 48-25. I mean, so
and that same Louisville team took Miami to the brink.
They did. So I mean, this team is good, man. I really like Jennings, man. He's so good. I mean, for being a freshman, we've talked about a lot of freshman quarterbacks this year. I mean, this dude's a stud, man. I mean, he came in as a freshman, and I heard a lot of talk about SMU this year, but I was like, man, come on, it's SMU. Like, they're going to be in the ACC. They've proven that they deserve to be in this conference championship based off of how the year went. Like, obviously, we thought it was going to be Miami and, well, we didn't know, Miami and somebody. And it ended up being Clemson and SMU. So, yeah, man, I think SMU wins as well in a shootout, like a 3-point victory. It's going to be close, man. It's going to come down to last possession. I hope it's a last possession field goal or even a touchdown. Like, you have to drive and you have to score. Like, I see it being that kind of game.
Yeah.
But I do pull for SMU in this because I really like their team. I loved Clemson too. Don't get me wrong. I like Cade. He's a great quarterback. I agree with you on that. He's a great quarterback. You know, people can say they haven't played nobody, but they have. I mean, they lost to Georgia and they lost to Louisville and then they lost to South Carolina. I mean, now Louisville lost. I mean, it's a bad loss, I guess, but I mean, they were 6-1 or 6-2 in the conference, so it wasn't just horrible loss. And like you said, Louisville took Miami to the brink. So, you know, and obviously South Carolina. What's going on, Marcus? How are you?
What's up, Marcus?
But yeah, I got SMU in this game. Close game, but I do have an SMU win in this game.
Yeah.
All right. This is another big one. I'll take it first.
Yeah. Because I honestly have no idea.
Oh, I do. This is the game where we see some flaws from Oregon. I think Penn State wins this game. I'm picking Penn State for, you could say, an upset, but I think these teams are evenly matched. I mean, they almost beat Ohio State. Franklin lost that for them. Ohio State almost beats Oregon. And we almost want Penn State to win this game because it would set up in my bracket. It would set up the Penn State and it was Penn State and I'm picking Penn State. Jet, I know you're an Oregon fan, but yeah, I think this is the game where you're going to see some flaws out of Oregon. Oh yeah, Penn State's defense is great. Their offense is great. They just ain't got the right play caller. I think it's a very close game though. There's a time where your season have how am I explaining this? I just feel like Penn State, you're going to get the best game out of Penn State you've seen, and that defense I think will. No, Dylan Gabriel is a stud, but I think this is going to be a game where he could struggle a little. And I could be completely wrong. I've watched him play. Obviously he played at Oklahoma, so he tore Texas up last year. So I know he's a good player, but I just really like this Penn State team. I think their quarterback is good. I just think I almost blame their offensive coordinator, or if I blame James Franklin. They're just, I don't know, but I feel like this team is really good. And I, in a way, to make things crazy, I want Penn State to win because it would mix up some stuff. Who would Oregon get in the first round? I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. I just have a feeling Penn State wins this game by 3. I think they win by 3.
Well,
I hate picking that because I love Oregon, but it's just a feeling. It's a feeling thing. It's not like that team's better than that team because I feel like they're in some ways evenly matched. I just have a feeling Penn State finds a way to win this game.
I think I got a lot of factors here, and I'm glad you went first because I really didn't know how I was feeling. I don't know if you saw the reports today, but there's a couple NFL teams eyeing a new coach.
Oh God! Don't tell me Franklin's out.
Dan Lanning from Oregon
Oh.
is top of the radar for the Chicago Bears. Does that play a part in how he calls his games? That you can say and I don't personally think he leaves. I think he loves Oregon. Oregon loves him. He literally just got the number 1 and the number 2 receiver in the class. I mean, he is building Bama in Oregon. I think if there's any program in America right now that is Bama-ish, it's Oregon. Because they've got the facilities, they've got the money, they've got the uniforms, they've got the coach, they've got everything that you need. But that outside noise could get kind of loud, and once you hear it, you start hearing it everywhere, anywhere you look. I'm saying this for Josh. I cannot stand Franklin. He is a horrible offensive play caller. He does not. He's just bad. He's just bad. There's one game. Well, really 2 games, but there's one game I'm gonna bring up for a reference right here, and it's the Wisconsin game. They did not look good against a bad Wisconsin team. Now I know teams have struggled and everybody has struggled. They did not look good against a bad Wisconsin team. They struggled with Boise State. Why did they struggle with Boise State? Boise State can run the football.
Yeah.
You know who else can run the football? Penn State.
They can.
You know whose defense is better than Boise State? Penn State. With that being said, I have Penn State in the upset as well. But I have them winning by 10.
Really?
I have them winning by 10, and I think it's a field goal late to put it up 10. Just to kind of
put the icing on the cake.
Put the icing on the cake. They might not need it, but just in case, just something late.
And I don't want to knock on this Oregon team like they're bad. It's just
I have them winning the national championship, but I think that they're just going to have to come from a different angle now. But I really do, man. The Penn State running game, if play calling is correct, Penn State wins this game. If Franklin goes out there and tries to match touchdown for touchdown with Oregon, they get routed. If he runs the ball and allows his defense to play defense, they win this game. I think it'll be one of the more low scoring conference championship games, even with Oregon being a high powered offense. I would look at it, man, in the 20s, 27-17, something along those 20 to 30, something like that. I'm not sure if Penn State can put up those kind of numbers, but I think their defense can hold Oregon because they're just that good. I think Penn State's a top 5 defense in the NCAA. But that's where I'm at on that one, man. I really,
we're right there. We're pulling for the upset here, so we'll see what happens on Saturday, and we all know what the last game is. I'll let you go first.
Here's another one. If number 7 loses, do they drop all the way out?
There's no. I mean, I say no way, but that'd be 3 losses for them.
That would be 3 losses, but what do you do? Like, what do you drop? Do you drop a 3-loss number 2 SEC team out and keep a 3-loss team that didn't even play in the SEC championship in Bama?
There's no way.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's just so much to go. Man, I honestly don't know. You don't know. Jet says automatically in. But SMU would be out with only 2 losses. See, that's where I have the problem, Jet.
Well, I think what they look at there, Derek, is they're going to look at strength of schedule with a 3-loss Georgia versus a 2-loss SMU. They're going to look at the schedules. They have to. If they're not, I mean, if you're looking off just
but then you just made the committee's point of why Bama's in.
and right, that's what I'm saying. And Bama could be in. Right,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. You don't know what Georgia's going to show up. You don't know what Texas is going to show up. Exact same scenario as the first time they played. Is Texas' offensive line going to show up, or is Georgia's defensive front seven going to show up? That's the game within the game. We know that Texas has all the skill guys. They've got the speed, they've got the running back, they've got the quarterback. We know Georgia has. We know Texas' defense is really good, really underrated. They fly around the football. We know Georgia has the running game. If ETN plays, they're very well that way. Their secondary, I think, is a little bit better than Texas secondary. If I had to give a nod to a defense as a whole, I think I would give it to Georgia if they play like they should. Now, if they come out and they're flat, I think Texas could run away with this. But I do have Texas losing. Non-biased. I think Georgia's. It's in Atlanta. The crowd is going to be rowdy. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. 3 o'clock, right after the Big 12 championship game, we're going straight into this one. I have it semi-low. I think for this game, I have it 24-23. I have it really close. I mean, I think they're both playing really good ball right now. Even though Georgia struggled with a good Georgia Tech team. I mean, let's not just act like Georgia Tech is bottom of the barrel. Georgia Tech, Haynes King plays good a lot of the times this year. I mean, that's a 1-score game and 8 overtimes. But I had to have Georgia pulling it off real close, 24-23.
I mean, it's very possible, Derek. This game is going to be so good. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Texas fan. I mean, I think we're going to get a better game than the first time.
100%.
I think the keys to this game is for Georgia. It's Carson Beck and what version of the Georgia defense do we get?
Yep.
But on the other side, Texas defense is super underrated. I was watching something today, and they were giving up all these numbers on like where they rank every part of Texas defense and all these grades they give out. And Texas has the number 1 defense statistically in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think about Texas, they may not have the best defense overall, in my opinion, but they're the most consistent defense. The problem is I'm not worried about Texas defense. I am worried about what we've been talking about is what offense are we going to get? How is Quinn going to play? How is the offensive line going to play? I think for both teams, because I think Texas defense has been consistent all year. Georgia's hasn't, but it's Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's which offense plays better. Is Texas going to try to run the ball a lot more versus trying to pass every time like they did the first time?
If you look at the A&M game, you take away that second touchdown. I've talked about it Sunday. Literally fell into the dude's lap, and the defender,
it was the perfect pass, perfect catch.
Yeah, I mean it was the defender didn't even try to get it. You take that away, that's a 10-7 ball game. Now they probably could have got a touchdown somewhere else, or maybe a field goal. Who knows? But I'm just saying, the offense didn't really do a whole lot versus A&M. Now, granted,
they did enough.
They did enough, and now A&M's defense was all over the place. I mean, they were flying to the football. I mean, the emotion was there, but Texas just did enough. Texas did more on defense than A&M's offense did. That
Right.
was the difference in the game. That defense versus that offense.
Well, and not only
And-
that, the running game for Texas had over
Yeah.
200 yards. I mean,
Yeah,
so the time of possession was in Texas's
There you go.
hand.
There you go.
So that all they had to do was run the ball, run the clock, and score when needed.
Yep.
That's what they did. They had to
They
control
took
the
their
game.
point.
And they took their points. I mean, you're right, Derek. Beck turned the ball over 3 times last time y'all played, and they won by 2 TDs. No way he turns the ball over that much this game. Give me the dogs unless Quinn shows up. Ha, ha, ha. I mean,
Field position, though, was big, too, that last game.
Now, Jet, I do agree that Beck has turned it around. But again, it's the Texas defense that could trickle him up. Now, with that being said, I don't really trust. I trust Quinn, but I don't know if he's going to have the big game. Now, if they run the ball and he has a big game, Georgia's going to be in trouble. It's going to come down to a possible shootout.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see that happening. This game is going to be the atmosphere is going to be nuts. Georgia's at home. I just think it's which defense and offense shows up in the same game.
So,
yes, Jet, I agree 100%. Texas has the best defense, but Quinn, the offense, I'm going to say the offense has to show up to have a chance to beat Georgia because it's just a feeling that Georgia's going to come and play Georgia football, and Texas has to come and play Texas football. And if we get that game, this is going to be a game, the best game of the weekend, in my opinion, if we get that from both teams.
I'm doing a little ad in here real quick.
It's just I'm curious to see, does Texas have some packages for Arch this game? Kind of like the one with A&M. They did a couple plays with him. Is this a game where they do that? Do they bring him more into the offense? Not to throw, but to just run the ball or whatever.
We're sitting here talking about Beck and what Beck is going to show up. What does he look like? So in the past 3 games, he has thrown for 941 yards and 11 touchdowns, no interceptions.
That's what I'm saying. If we get that Beck and we don't get up,
it would be a rout. If that Beck shows up and even a half of a defense shows up for Georgia, it could be a rout for Georgia. But I will say this: I don't think that Beck shows up.
No, I just don't think it does either.
If Georgia wins this game, Georgia's defense will be getting turnovers, short field positions, couple field goals. I don't think Beck's going to show up like that.
I agree with this right here. Arch has to play. I agree.
That's what hurt A&M. When Arch came in mobile and running, it was complete, like not a shell shock, but it was. They weren't ready for it.
Well, that's the thing is, they do have to make some drives with Arch coming in and running the ball because he is of course he hasn't played a lot this year. He played while Quinn was injured, but Arch he is going to be a great quarterback for them next year. If Ewers doesn't come back, I doubt he does, but hey, he may play his senior year. I don't know.
If I'm Texas, I don't let Ewers come back because if you do that, now you're playing with the chance of losing.
No, you will lose Arch. There's no way he stays again to be a backup.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Texas by 3.
No way.
By 3. If you didn't know that, but last time I said they were going to win by a lot. So like I'm going to give Georgia the respect. I just feel like we're going to see the best. This is what I want to see. I want to see the best Texas team. I want to see the best Georgia team, and then who wins, then we can finally say, because like I feel like we didn't get that last game. We got a subpar Georgia offense because Beck turned the ball over. They just did what they had to do. What they had to do offensively. We got the best Georgia defense, and then on the other side, we had the best Texas defense. They just got wore out.
Yeah,
because offense couldn't do nothing. I want it to just be a slugfest. We get both from both of the best teams, and I want this game to go down to the wire, and let's see who is the SEC championship, man. That's what I want to see.
Yep.
I want to see both teams come out just flying around and playing SEC football.
That's going to be a good one for sure.
It is. I'm going to run another ad, and then we're going to get into our NFL games, which I didn't even tell you all about, but I had a feeling these were the games we would have picked.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty good games. We'll run this ad, and then we'll get into that, and then we'll do some closing stuff, and we'll be done.
At Hoswell Customs, we do custom apparel using embroidery, DTF full color graphics, engraved leather patches, and supply full lines of promotional products like engraved tumblers, notepads, pins, and so much more. Y'all should go check it out.
I picked this one for you, Derek.
The return of Kirk Cousins. He will not play past halftime.
That's why I put it up there. I should have put I should have put the semi return of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
but
man, at this point, you're barely just getting by.
Yeah,
you're already there's already rumors swirling that you're not bringing him back next year. You're going to look for a trade in the offseason. Pull the trigger and see what your future is, because I'm going to tell you right now, Michael Penix Jr., if he's not it, you need to go find you a quarterback in the draft. I mean, you know what I mean? I know it's stupid to take back-to-back quarterbacks, but see what you got. And I think Michael Penix Jr. is a good quarterback. I think with that offense, with Bijan, with Pitts, with London, dude, I think they're a great young offense. No team is trading for him. That's the problem. They're fixing to eat a ton of dead money. He is about to be the rich man's Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just going to be a journeyman backup to just help young kids. Now, what he's going to help them with, I don't know. He could be a great mentor for Bryce Young. Truthfully,
I mean, that is true.
I mean,
because it's not Andy Dalton. No offense to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's not that mentor for Bryce Young.
I have Minnesota by 20. I mean, truthfully, not, and it's not even. I think Minnesota's just that much better than them.
I agree.
The defense is better. Their offense is better. Quarterback's better. Coach is better. Kicker probably for Atlanta is better, so I'll give them that win. But
they're not the only team with a good kicker.
Yeah, that's it, man. I got Vikings by 20. I know Josh will like that if he hears it.
Yeah, Vikings win this, man. I mean, listen, the Kirk Cousins. There will be no return. This will be a blowout game. Listen, I mean, Minnesota's better.
Next year, it's going to be whatever team he's on coming to Atlanta. And it's going to be the return of Kirk Cousins to Atlanta because he'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, because the Penix Jr. It's time. It's time.
I don't know why you draft a quarterback that high and not even look at him.
Well, they thought that Kirk could give him some good years and then mold him.
He ain't even gave him good weeks, much less years.
Well, that's the thing is he's giving them nothing. So yeah, I mean, I see this as a blowout win for Minnesota. Atlanta will be 6-7, and yeah, they're the Kirk.
I think
Cousins
they're still winning the division right now, but that's just because that division's atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, where? Oh, I mean, you have Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. I mean, if Tampa Bay could get Mike Evans back.
No, I don't hate. Yeah, I really hate any player. I'm just I'm a non-biased realist, I guess you would say. Don't get me on the Travis Hunter talk because you'll really think I hate him.
I'm not going to say Atlanta wins it. It depends. I really do believe, because I'm sitting here looking at it. I mean, Tampa Bay is right there at them with 6-6. I mean, do you trust Tampa? Kirko Chain's about to throw 4 tutties this week. Hey, if he does it, it would be against Minnesota. We're either going to get another bad game or his best game yet. That's like my opinion on it. But I mean, just with what he did,
you know, if he does something like that, Jerry will go get him because that is a classic Dallas move. Like, oh, we're fixing to make a change. We're fixing to make a change. Oh, he just threw 9 touchdowns this week. That's our quarterback, y'all. A TO. That's our quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Tampa Bay winning it depending on the rest of the season because Tampa Bay, they're tied right now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I mean, I just don't think they can beat Minnesota. But again, football is football. We may get the best Kirk Cousins or we're going to get the worst. There is no in between. I'll tell you that. Man, I mean.
This is a sneaky one.
It is. And I put it up here. Can the Seahawks make the playoffs? Or could they squeeze in by winning this game and moving up in that? You know, they're not going to obviously win the division. Actually, they can. Actually, I lied. They can win the division. They are. I keep forgetting how bad San Francisco is.
Yeah, and they just lost McCaffrey and Mason.
Yeah, and I mean this division is still tight.
I think it's down between these two.
God, I hate saying this. Let me go ahead before we talk about this game. I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl, and I'm sticking by it because I stick by my words. But they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. I chose to go to the Super Bowl, I mean they're tied with Arizona, so they have a slight chance if they were to win some games. But I just don't know what we're going to get with Seattle. They win games and then they lose games, and they win games and then we lose games. Like I really love Geno Smith. Like he has revamped his career in Seattle. Like he's still one of the best passers statistic wise, but. If Seattle had the Seattle defense that we know, I think this team is probably 9-2, 8-3.
Yeah,
like that. But that defense isn't as good as it's used to be in the past. But I do agree with Jet and with you that I do think this comes down to the division here because that would put Seattle in a 1-game lead. Or 2-game lead, excuse me, if they beat Arizona. But then it all depends on what the Rams do. If they win, they're up in the second slot. So this is the closest division. Well, outside of the NFC North, they're pretty close too with three teams up there at the top. Holy crap. Breaking news. Kansas Jayhawks just lost.
Yeah.
Right.
North Carolina lost tonight to Alabama. And
wow.
Duke is up 10 on Auburn, on number 2 Auburn right now.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm pulling for Seattle here because I love Kyler Murray. This team is just not there yet. I think we talked about this last week. They're missing one more playmaker, and they still need to get some help on the defense side of the ball.
Marvin Harrison hasn't broke out yet. He had that one game where he had like
Mhm.
120 something yards by halftime or something along those lines. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna take Arizona in this game. I'm gonna take Arizona. I'm gonna take both 7 and 6 in the division. I'm gonna make the division race come down to the wire. But the reason I'm gonna take Arizona in this game has nothing to do with Arizona and everything to do with Seattle. Seattle has not ran the football at all.
Kenneth Walker has been
Kenneth
non-existent.
Walker has 540 yards on the season. He's played 10 games. 50 yards a game is what he's averaging.
Wow.
If you were to just cover up the names and the logos, you would think that's the Dallas Cowboys, but it's not. It's Seattle. They have got to run. Hey, I'm just saying. They've got to run the ball. And for
their offensive line is so bad, like Dallas, they just can't.
It is. But if you're not running the ball, it's not opening up that pass. And they've got a great receiving core with Smith and Jigba, Metcalf, and Lockett, and then the tight end Noah Fant. Man, dude, they have a great receiving core, but it's just not working because they're not running the football. If they come out and run the football, establish the run, that's going to allow Geno to open up and sling the ball around, and that is going to make them dangerous. Because I believe Geno.
Yeah, they I don't know how they win either. I do have kind of
13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for Geno. That's what I was looking at.
Is this the year that if obviously I don't think Seattle wins the Super Bowl, right? Nothing like that. Is this a year where they don't do anything if they don't make the playoffs or if they get smoked in the first round? There's no way DK Metcalf can continue to stay on this team, right?
No, they would look to move him this offseason in the draft.
I mean,
not because of them, but because of him. He'll want out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's got to want out soon. He is too good to be on a team that never makes the playoffs. Or
where would you like to see him go? I have one team in mind.
I have one team in mind too that nobody will like, but I want to hear yours first.
Buffalo.
Okay. A
big body receiver in Buffalo to go with Keon Coleman, who they just drafted. Another big lanky receiver. I'm not calling him big body because he doesn't have a weight really or muscle on him. But I think that, especially if Josh Allen gets to the Super Bowl, maybe doesn't win it, but gets to it, I think they could go get a big time receiver. And I would love to see Metcalf running down the sideline in Buffalo and catching touchdown passes.
All right. I'm about to get hated on, but it's okay. I'm going to take it. I want to see him in Kansas City.
Okay. I mean, that
it takes Kansas City to a level where, because I look at it this way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but if you do that, if you give Patrick Mahomes a legit receiver, now they're playing 16 on 11 instead of 15 on 11.
I look at it this way. I don't know if Kelsey's coming back, right?
I don't either.
I don't know. Is DK a true number one receiver? I think he can.
I think he can be. He was his first, 2 years in the league, maybe? Was it second year? Whatever it was.
Well, I would think he would complement Rashid Rice very well. That's where I'm getting at. Obviously next year, because they're not even getting him back this year. But could you imagine having DK, Worthy, Rashid Rice, and then if Kelsey were to come back, I think that would revamp that offense a little bit, because the offense hasn't been that great this year. They've been squeaking by wins. Like, they are the most squeakiest winning team in NFL right now. They win by 7 or less every week. Every week. Because I like Mahomes. I like the Chiefs. Like, I just genuinely like them.
What if? I know it won't happen. But you're talking about being a complimentary receiver. What if he goes to Dallas,
Oh God.
opposite of CD Lamb? Now, we don't have
I
a
mean-
quarterback to throw to him, and we don't have a line to block
Well,
for
that's what I was about
the
to say.
non-quarterback that we have. But if you take it would almost be like Tyreek Hill with Kansas City. You always hear him and Tyreek. Well, I'm faster. Somebody to take the deep post, somebody to take the streak, somebody to clear out with CD work in the middle of the field.
I mean, yes, it would be great, but like you just said, the problem is they have no line and they have no quarterback.
Yeah, but
in Kansas City, I know the numbers don't support it, but Patrick Mahomes is better than Dak.
Oh, absolutely. I
mean,
agree.
I think it would be really hard for both those teams to get him, but
I still like Buffalo. I think Buffalo would be
I
amazing.
think it's time for DK to, if he wants a chance to win a Super Bowl,
He's gotta go.
He's got to get out of Seattle.
Yeah, I 100%
that
agree.
was kind of my whole take on that, is he needs to get out if he wants to compete for a Super Bowl, because I just don't think, like, they're not moving on from Geno. That didn't they just give him a contract? Like, this is their guy.
Yeah.
This is their guy. So they're not moving on from him right now. I mean, again, he throws a lot of yards. He throws semi, he throws.
Oh,
okay
I got one for
touchdowns.
you. And it's a team that we've been talking about probably the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Carolina.
Nope. Denver.
Oh,
Denver.
that would be a really good team for him to go to. That would give them their star.
Their number one receiver. Hey, boom! Look at that right there. Just said it. Don't take credit for my stuff yet. I just said it. But dude, that's legit. That works for everybody.
Yeah, that he would be amazing in Denver. That would give Bo Nix a legit target, and that would definitely take that team to really could be competitive in that division.
With the Chiefs, yeah, absolutely, and or the Chargers. The Broncos or the Chargers would be perfect because DK could be a big-bodied, motion him down like a tight end and block because they have a run scheme there, or keep him out wide and throw to him.
Yeah, I think either one of those teams, it would be great for him in his situation, and then
I agree.
Get those teams, better offensively. Not that they're not great, or not that they're not good. They're just not great. But yeah, I like. I think I'm gonna pick T. Higgins to the Chargers this offseason. I think you said that, Derek, didn't you?
I said that last week. If you pay attention to the stuff, Jet.
he's been catching up on it. He's been listening to us on Spotify, I think.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, Jet. Thank you.
Yeah, he's been catching up on it. But yeah, I think that. T. Higgins would be great for the Chargers. DK would. I think DK goes any team he wants to go to. Whatever team that is, he would make that team better offensively. Whether it's a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback, whatever, he would make that team better. But I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go Seahawks in this game. I'm gonna have them win by a touchdown or so. I'm just not.
I think it's a touchdown game as well. So
I'm just not sure about. I love Kyler Murray, obviously a DFW kid.
Yeah,
he's had an underrated career because that teams haven't always been great. And I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I like McBride, the tight end. I like. I think his name is Baker Buddha, the corner for them. Really good defensive player. So they have some good
Buddha
pieces. Buddha Baker. That's his name. He's real good. They have some pieces. They're just not over that hump yet. And I think they can get there because Kyler Murray's he's still a great quarterback. Very underrated quarterback in this league. So, but I'm gonna ride with the Seahawks here by 7, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. It's a mid-afternoon game. So we'll see what happens. Man, this is a game here. This is Thursday night game at that. Detroit and Green Bay in Detroit. Whew. Are we going to continue to see the same Lions team we've been seeing, or is this a game where they struggle? This Green Bay team is good. I like this Green Bay team. Obviously,
Detroit is. This is going to come out weird, but then I'll explain it. Detroit is so underrated because of Jared Goff. Because if you look at Jared Goff, is that a Super Bowl winning quarterback? No. I mean, just looking. Just
just like looking at him. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
just looking at him. I mean, watching him play, he looks kind of goofy out there. I mean, just be honest. But then you look at the stat book, and he's 27 of 27 with 3 touchdowns, and I mean it's like a trick. I mean, it's a trick.
Don't
sleep on golf. Hey, I am all about the Lions, man. I think they're probably the top 2 team in football, top 3 at best. I mean, at worst, I think them, the Eagles, and the Bills are the 3 teams to beat in the NFL right now. Especially if Josh Allen keeps going the way he's going. The running game for Detroit, they got a 2-headed monster, and they use them properly. They ground and pound with one and pass out of the backfield with the other one. I love their play. I love Dan Campbell, ex-Aggie. Their receiving core is great. Their defense is amazing.
And they don't even have their best defense in. That's the crazy.
Hutchinson is out. What did you say? You have the Lions by Detroit by 10, brother. I got the Lions by 17.
I'm gonna go more than you, Derek. I think the Packers are good, but this Detroit team, it's really close with the Eagles. But this Detroit team from top to bottom, and they're missing a few guys defensively. They are scary. I think the Detroit Lions win this game by 21 points. 21, 3 tutties.
Dang. Is it safe to say that any 2 teams other than the Lions and Eagles in the NFC Championship game is a letdown?
Oh, it's a big letdown.
Unless it's Dallas, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think those are there's. I think we've talked about this. Look at it as like the Heisman race. I think it's Detroit and Philly, and then everybody else.
Yeah,
like I don't think it's it's not close. There's a massive gap between the top 2 and the number 3.
Yeah, like I agree. I think it's Detroit, Philly, and then Buffalo would be my 3rd. I mean, like I understand.
Well, that's AFC. City. I'm talking about just NFC.
Just the NFC. Oh yeah. NFC. It's these 2 teams and the rest of the field.
That's
I mean, because what I love about this Detroit, they have the best running back duo. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying they have the best running back. They have the best running back duo in the NFL with ease.
Even over Baltimore.
Yes. Oh yeah. This running back core for Detroit. Jameer and
you think they're better than than Henry and Jackson?
Yes, dude. Oh yeah. I mean,
I do too. I agree. 100%. But
if Lamar was a running back for Baltimore, I would say, oh, here we go. Are the Vikings a fraud team? Actually, I don't think they're a fraud.
I don't think they're a fraud. I think they're a very good team. But they literally picked the worst year to be a really good team
because the NFC
Detroit is amazing. I mean that's what I see.
Yeah, I look at the NFC, like you said, NFC. I see Detroit and the Eagles, and then probably the Vikings would be next, possibly.
As far as NFC, absolutely.
The Vikings are right there, but I don't think they're a fraud. I disagree with Derek. They picked the wrong year to try to be good because of the Lions and the Eagles. They're just that good. But no, I don't think they're a fraud. But I think Detroit puts a stamp on this league and saying, okay, yeah, we're playing the 9-3 Packers. We're going to go out here and smoke them.
Yeah. Did they play Philly this year?
I don't know. I need to look because if they play Philly, that would be a heck of. They do not.
No?
But they do play the Bills next. They play the Bills next week, so that'd be a really good game. And they do play the Vikings too, their last game of the season. So, yeah, I mean.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, I like it.
Yeah. I just don't think the Packers can win this game. I mean, I love Jordan Love. I think he still has some stuff to work on, but he's a great offense. They have, some pretty good receivers. The defense is okay. It's good. They're just, I don't know. I don't really know yet. Obviously they smoked the Cowboys last year, which was unexpected but not surprising.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, but if they beat Detroit, I'm going to put Green Bay up there near the NFC top teams, near, not there, but like at that fourth position. I would have Green Bay there. I still think the Vikings are better, but yeah, I think the Vikings are better. But if this Detroit team or this Vikings or Packers team does beat them, we could be having a little bit of conversation on Sunday about
Great question,
this game.
Jet. That's a good question.
Yeah, fraud, man. I've never thought about that. I just have never thought of them being a fraud. Now, if they go out here and they get smoked in a playoff game, it depends on who they're playing. If they're playing Detroit, I'd be like, no, they're not a fraud. But if they go out here and they lose a wild card game to the,
Tampa Bay
10,
or
then
Atlanta.
yes, you could. Josh would say if that's Josh's team, he would come out and say they're a fraud.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't remember what this last game was I picked. I think it boils down to, do y'all believe in Sam Darnold?
No.
I mean, I did.
That first 3 weeks, he looked really good. Then I think he had that one bad week, and he's never looked the
Really
same.
recovered? Yeah.
Yeah, he's played good, but he hasn't played. Jared Goff had a bad week and then came back for the next 5 games and played really well.
Yeah.
He
threw
just
5 or 4 interceptions to get the Texans, and they still won.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Oh, yeah, this is the game. This is the last game I picked.
This is a Sunday night
This is the game where Kansas City finally gets beat.
again.
Like, actually gets beat again. Like, this Chargers team, we've been talking about Chargers. They're so good. I love
They
this
are.
Chargers team.
Yep.
I know it's in Kansas City, and I know Patrick Mahomes. I get it, but like they've been squeaking by teams, and this is not the team. Yeah, the Chiefs are losing. Jet,
Chiefs
you're
are
right.
definitely losing, Jet. Yeah, I agree.
Again, I love Patrick Mahomes, but like, and they're 11-1, but they've been. I mean, me and Jet were watching the Raiders game at Buffalo Wild Wings after we went to that game last Friday, and just the way they won, it's just like, damn, they got another game handed to them.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like the Chiefs, I do, but they should have lost that game. The Raiders were driving. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
To me, there's 3 teams in the AFC, and it's the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chargers. I have no faith. I have no faith in Kansas City.
You just have no faith in them. Yeah, I don't think I could take them out of my top 3 yet, because I don't think Baltimore. I don't know. We don't know what we're getting from Baltimore either, man. That's the thing. Like, Baltimore could have won that game against Philly, and they just still didn't.
Well, but I mean, are we saying Philly's a top 2 team in the whole league?
Well, of course, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah. I know. I'm just saying, like, if I'm comparing, like, if we're talking about, okay, the Bills, I don't think you could put the Chargers at the second best team.
I have them third. I have the Ravens.
If we're picking the Ravens or the Chiefs, I've got to go with the Chiefs, because they are finding the ways to win versus the Ravens. They're not, like, in these close games. Like, I know every game for the Chiefs have been close. I'm not saying they're not getting help, if you know what I mean, but I'm saying they're winning. I don't know what they're doing, but they're winning. The opposite of the Ravens.
They're getting help. That's what they're doing. That's
what
what I mean.
Well, if the Ravens were getting help, I'd be like, all right, the Ravens are my second team. But like, that's why, like, I like the Chiefs still. But what I always say about the Chiefs is they're always better in the playoffs. Is that going to be the case this year? I don't know.
They better host a home game. That's all I got to tell.
Well, right, but I do have the Chargers as my third best team. I don't know who my second best team in the AFC is, but the Chargers are my third. I really like the Chargers. I really like Harbaugh. I like what Justin Herbert's doing.
I'm going to throw you a prediction out right here. Live
Give it to
on
me.
air.
Give it to me.
Within 4 years, the Chargers will be in the Super Bowl.
I like it. Who did I say? Who did I say on Sunday would be in the Super Bowl if they? Oh, it was the Chargers. We were talking about the Chargers. Yeah. That was them.
So we said they were headed the right direction, but I'm giving them 4 years. I'm giving Harbaugh 4 years to be, because I'm not 100% sure. Let me check while I'm sitting right here. But dude, I love them. I think you're seeing prime example of what happens when you get a coach that fits a system. A quarterback that fits a coach's system, Yeah, they need a playmaker.
That's what we've been saying. They
That's
need a
what we've been
playmaker.
saying. Um,
I look at when I look at this game again. I think the Chargers win, and that's a great win for them. I just want to know what we're going to get from the Chiefs in the playoffs because I think that's where obviously that's where it matters, right? Like I think the Chargers will make the playoffs. I don't think they're quite ready for the Super Bowl, but I mean, I'm not going to knock them out. Who knows? Like they may have the best few games of their lives and find a way to make it still.
So they have this is it. They might make the freaking Super Bowl in 2 years. They have $73 million in cap space this offseason. $73 million. You think they can't go out and get T. Higgins for that kind of money? You think they can't go get out and get a defensive end or maybe some cornerbacks with that kind of money? Because there's a lot of good free agents coming out this year. A lot. Unless they get franchise and all that. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean they do have a lot of money and like they do need to get that playmaker, whether it's DK, whether it's T. Higgins. I mean somebody to give Justin Herbert that one target he can throw to because defensively, they need another edge rusher because they need someone on the other side of Bosa on the other end. But I think their goal next year is to get a playmaker. I think the offensive line's pretty good. Like Justin Herbert is, not running around with like a chicken with his head cut off. But they're a one defensive end away and one playmaker away from being a serious contender. And they may be a serious contender this year. We don't know. The playoffs are a whole different ballgame. But I just think
hear me out on this. Let me throw this at you. Something happens the last 4 weeks of the season. They kind of tank. Not really tank, but they kind of fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Do you move up in the draft and get Genty as a running back? I know Dobbins is playing really well for them and is looking really good. But you see what Detroit is doing? Could you have a two-headed monster with Dobbins and Genty and still go out and get your T. Higgins or still go out and try to get your Metcalf or any kind of that of receiver and then build your defense through the draft?
I mean, yeah, they definitely can. I mean, if they got Genty, if they were to get Genty next year, they will be my Super Bowl favorite. I'm not kidding.
I mean, with that offensive
next
line,
year,
yeah, 100%.
But I do want to mention something at Kansas City that I love now, that they kind of have a two-headed monster at the running back now. They got Pacheco back, and they have Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. So Pacheco came back?
He came back last week.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Kansas City is built for the playoffs. They're getting ready at the right time. Like, I'm not counting them out, but I need to see them beat somebody more than 7 points. That's kind of where I'm getting at. Like, I understand the league is always getting better, but they beat Carolina by 3, And yeah, Hopkins is playing great. Like, could you imagine?
He's a free agent next year.
Yeah, he is. Could you imagine if they had Rashid Rice and Hopkins right now with Kelsey and Worthy? Like, man, this team could be scary. They could be. I know Worthy hasn't lived up to the hype this year. Obviously, he's a rookie. I mean, I get it. But he's so fast. Like, this Kansas City team can be scary. I just don't know if they have it in them to three-peat and win against what, to me, is a super competitive NFL this year with, the top teams being really that good. So we'll have to see. But again, I have a Chargers winning this game. I actually having them win it by like 10 points, somewhere around there, like 10-point game.
That's what I have as well. I like it.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's a Sunday night game. It's a prime time Sunday night game, so this will be a good game to watch. Yeah, it'll be during the podcast. It'll be coming on, so I'm going to have it up because I definitely want to watch this game like from start to finish. It'll be a good game.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's run another quick sponsor, and then we can kind of close with. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the bracket stuff with the college real quick, and then that's all I have left. It'll be real quick, and then we'll be done.
Drew Henkel. Therapeutic is located in South Tyler. Drew specializes in deep tissue work to relieve your chronic aches and pains. Drew also offers sports massage or full-body stretch sessions for athletes or people who have tight muscles. Find him on Facebook or call him at 903-747-0417.
Comanche Tees is located in Longview, Texas. They are owned by Naomi Simmons. They specialize in making all kinds of custom apparel and hats for any occasion. You can scan the QR code on the screen to go to her Facebook, give her a call at 903-985-9120, or even email her at comanchetees24@gmail.com.
Hold on, let me do this one real quick. I forgot. So the W Energy guys, we've been talking about them for a couple of weeks. If you're into the energy stuff and you're looking for a kind of a healthier choice, you could buy these jars or tubs of energy powder. You just mix it with water. They have a sample packet that comes with a shaker and 3 samples, different flavors. If you use our code TS2024, you'll get 10% off, and it would contribute to our podcast, and we'd really appreciate it. They also have a Facebook, an app you can do it off of, and a website. All right, Derek. So what I was going to talk about real quick. So I know we're a little bit over, but
you're good.
If the college football playoff, if instead of it being the 4 conference teams or the 4 big whatever you want to call it, what if it was just the 4 best teams got the bye, the first 4 ranked teams? Would you like it better that way, or are you good with the automatic conference big 4 getting in and getting the bye? Because that would put Notre Dame in there, and I know how you feel about them. Right now, they would be having a bye.
Man, I don't know, truthfully. I mean, because again, that's going to come down to what are you basing it on? I mean, how?
Well,
I don't think a team that doesn't play a conference championship game deserves a bye.
And I agree with that.
I don't think that the 12 teams that are in there right now, the worst 2 losses are Ohio State and Michigan and Northern Illinois. I don't think a team that lost to Northern Illinois deserves a bye. There's just no you cannot. Especially over, say a 1-loss or 2-loss Georgia team who lost in the SEC championship game, who will have 3 losses at that point or whatever. I don't like that.
Jet said Notre Dame are frauds.
Don't get me started, Jet. Don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they have it set up this way for the Notre Dames of the world. Why else would you have it?
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said, matter of fact, I wish Texas would lose. I wish Oregon would lose. I guess Oregon and Penn State are both ahead of them. But I wish all the teams ahead of Notre Dame would lose, and they would get a 1 or 2 or a 3 seed and still have to be the number 5 seed in the thing because they're not a conference champ. I don't. Dude, I don't get that. Like I just don't. But I do. We talked about. I think after the first round of the playoffs, everything should be reseeded to make sure that the number 1 seed gets the lower ranked team, because the way some of these games are going to fall, you've got the number 1 taking the 8 and 9 seed, and that's freaking Georgia, Tennessee right now.
Right.
So, what's their name? Oregon, if they win, congratulations, you get Georgia or Tennessee coming. Have fun with that. That's your winning game. And then you got Boise sitting up there, gets a number 12 seed. A 6. What would they get? They're 4. They would get 5 and 12. So they would get Notre Dame,
Notre
Arizona
Dame,
State,
yeah.
or whatever. I mean, so I think that they got some work to do on this playoff thing. I don't really like it. Like I said, you've got to set a, not necessarily a bar, but you've got to set. And like I said, I think the only way you do it is you either take only conference champions, regardless, because that gives everybody something to play for. Nobody can gripe that, Bama's in over South Carolina. Well, if Bama won the national or the SEC championship with 4 losses, guess what? It doesn't matter. They're the SEC champs. They're in. So I don't know. I do like the 12 team way better than the 4 team.
Yeah,
because again, I like chaos, and I think that it created even more chaos than the 4 teams did. But there's a lot of work to do on it.
I agree. Well, that was my thing for the evening. I saw something about that, and I wanted to ask you and anyone in the community about that, what their thoughts were on that. And if you have nothing else, I don't know if you do or not. But
I got one more thing. We kind of touched on it earlier. So I don't know if y'all kind of seen a trend that we've got kind of going here with all these high school recruits coming on, going to the next level to play. Just since last Wednesday when we kind of started this, so we had Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, including the 2 we've already done plus Jackson today. We are on the books for 9 more kids are coming on to talking, and this is really blew up today, man. Like my phone was going dead because I was texting people so much and putting in work with his parents and these kids trying to get them to come on. And it was so much that we actually had to add another stream each week just to kind of fill these slots for all these kids. If not, we'd have been in late February talking to all these people.
Yeah.
So we talked about UNLV, to kind of start off the show. And Friday night at 8 p.m., we're going to have a kid from right up the road here who signed with UNLV today. Great kid, amazing high school career. We'll bring everything to the table. But if y'all want to tune in Friday night and see what he brings to, or Friday night, and see about him and about his season, and we'll keep everybody posted when we're going forward with who's coming. We got a lot of big universities just to show up on this podcast. And
bigger than we ever expected.
Oh, absolutely. It's what we talked about earlier today, dude. I was thinking like some JUCO and some D3 type stuff, but we're talking major D1 programs, major players, and we're actually going to get off into possibly some media type stuff with some of these universities and get plugged in with some actual players that are there right now still playing. So we got a lot coming up. And it's, thanks to you guys for continuing to follow us and commenting on the stream and watching the streams. And, we're going to keep going as long as we can with this.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I think I kind of told Justin and Josh last night, this has been super big in these 2.5 months that we've been doing it. And it's really picked up over the last really week and a half. I think 2025 is going to be massive for us because we're going to get a start at the first of the year rather than in August or late August, early September like we did this year. So yeah, just y'all hang in there with us. Keep a look on the page. I'll be updating every chance that I get about what's coming up and who's coming up and putting that out there for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all, please, continue to come on here. I know sometimes they can go longer, but we just have so much good stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to we try to cut it back as much as we can because we understand people have work and stuff. But we appreciate y'all. And if you don't, please follow us on our Facebook page, Tired Sports. We have a TikTok now. We've been posting some videos like that about, some people. We've been making some TikToks and getting that out there. So go follow us there. And we have a YouTube page as well. If you don't have Facebook, for whatever reason, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
I mean, there's
we're really trying to
respectfully. There's no way that you don't get to listen to us or watch us. Spotify,
Facebook,
and Spotify,
YouTube, Spotify. We have a lot of options going out there. If you can't watch during the week, man, listen to it while you're traveling or whatever you do, and just keep with us. We have some really, really good stuff coming that, y'all. Hopefully y'all are enjoying it and watching it and liking these recruits because these are some really good young kids and great athletes and great stories.
We've got just to give y'all a hint of kind of what has been going on behind the scenes.
Are you going to give them a few little hints? Not too many details.
I'm going to give them 3 numbers. One player that I've been in talk with is the number 1 player in the nation at his position. Another player that I've been in talk with who is actually on the books is the number 1 player in the state of Texas at his position. And he's the number 15th player in the nation at his position.
And he is on our books to come on.
He's already on the books to come on. He's going to be towards the end of the month. But, we've still got big time. We've got a Big 12 American Conference. I believe I'm not sure what UNLV's in. But we've got big time program guys that are going to start kind of showing their face on here. And we're still working with some more guys to try to hash out some days to come on. And it's so exciting. And this is just football. We're not even into the basketball side of it yet. And that once we get there and get that rolling, man, that's going to be another fun thing to do because Dustin's talked about we're big basketball guys. We love basketball. I love football, but man, there's just something about basketball. So y'all just stick with us, and that's kind of what we're going to do on Friday nights, and the Saturday mornings if we have one, is do an interview and then just kind of throw in some basketball stuff here and there, just kind of get it warming up because the college is starting to get in full swing. The NBA is going right now, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yep, and we, by the way, since you mentioned Saturday, we do have another guest on Saturday morning, at 9 a.m. So and this was a good one because this person is at a I don't even know what kind of school he's at. It's below
NAIA.
NAIA. He's a local kid. He reached out to Derek, and we're going to have him on Saturday. So we're on the books for Friday, Saturday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we hope y'all tune in, and we got some great things.
His story is pretty cool, like that. So
yes.
that's a pretty cool one to listen to.
Yes, you talking about the guy on Saturday?
The guy on Saturdays is a pretty neat story. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, so y'all tune in. Again, sorry it went longer than usual, but it's for all the right reasons.
Yes, it is.
And
it is.
We will see y'all Friday night at 8.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Later.